Hi, welcome Understood family. Thank you so much for joining with me today. We are going to be talking about the benefits and also the challenges of being in an interracial family. Come on, let's dive in. So if you follow me on social media, you know that this is a topic I have talked about many times before. It's on my blog, on my website, I've made posts about it. I've talked about many times working with my children's hair and the different things that I'm doing to try to teach myself how to keep their hair healthy and to be able to maintain their beautiful curls. And it's something that's been very big, a big part of my life, of course, because it's all around me and it's a part of my everyday life. So I want to first start off and talk about the benefits of being in an interracial marriage and having biracial children. So one of the benefits that I actually truly believe is very key in helping us to learn about other cultures, about other societies, about places all around the globe is when you are exposed to different races, to different cultures, and you're really, and I don't mean just that you have a friend, an Asian friend or a Hispanic friend or a Black friend. That's not what I mean. What I mean is when you are really immersed in the culture and you understand the language, the traditions, you understand a very in-depth look at the culture. It really helps you to appreciate it so much more. And it broadens your horizons. You learn so many things that you just didn't know before. It makes you more self-aware of your world around you. It makes you realize how we are so similar and we are connected in so many ways, and that even though that we may look differently on the outward appearance, that we're very similar inside. We all want very similar things as, you know, we've grown up. Like, we want as children, we want to be loved, we want to be nurtured. And then when we reach our young adulthood, we want opportunity. We want opportunity. We want to be able to succeed in life. And as we become married and parents, we want to be able to provide for our children and to be able to see a world in which we can thrive and be able to do things for our families, for our businesses, and for our community. So in that regard, we are all so similar. And what I really want to emphasize is to understand that we are all different and that maybe we do look differently on the outside, but that this was by design. This was intentional. God intentionally created us to be different. It's something that He loves. He loves variety. He thrives on it. Variety is all around us. Just look outside. Take a look outside as you're driving down the road or as you're having coffee, and just look at all the different types of trees that are outside, the different color of flowers, all the different animals and insects, and so many things in nature that just show us how much God loves variety. So of course, whenever He created us all uniquely as well. And it makes sense because He loves it. So we should learn to embrace that and embrace the differences in ourselves as well whenever we're looking around the world. And that is one of the visions that I have for Mixed Understood, that we will be able to look at how we are similar and that those similarities can help to unite us and to bring us together to look beyond the things that are different between us. So I want to speak to some of the challenges, and I've talked about this on my website. I've talked about it on my social media. My immediate challenge was understanding my daughter's hair, that because of my hair texture, this is something I wrote about extensively in my blog, that there are specific hair types. There are different types of hair types. It depends on where you are on the hair chart. And my hair on the hair chart is somewhere between a 2B and a 2C. My daughter's hair is around a 3C, both of my girls. And my son's hair is closer to like mine. He's probably between, I think he's probably around a 3A. He's around a 3A. So understanding the different types of hair was a challenge because I didn't know how to comb it. I didn't know what products to use. I didn't know how often to wash. I didn't know how to do certain types of braids. And there was just a lot that I had to learn. It was a really big learning curve. But I managed to do it. I managed to overcome the challenge, and I've managed to be able to learn how to style their hair very uniquely and very beautifully now. And I can even open up Pinterest and ask them, what hairstyle would you like this time? And they can even choose and select for themselves what they would like it to look like. So it was one of the first challenges, but it was something that was absolutely overcomeable. Now, the next challenge is one that it's a continual challenge. I think it's something that I have to be very intentional about. And if you've listened to any of my videos in the past and you've watched them before, then you've heard the story about whenever I grew up and I was only 5 and I was very upset about my hair color and my skin color and my eye color. And I was just mad at who God had created me to be. And I didn't have an understanding of how unique and special I was. And because in my world, I didn't see any other little girls that were Hispanic like me and that had brown skin like I did. And so I felt there was something wrong with me. There must be something wrong, because why don't I look like all the other girls in school? And so because of that, I've learned I need to be very intentional about making sure that I incorporate other cultures around my children, that they see themselves reflected in the friends that we hang out with, in coloring books. And it's actually inspired me. I'm making the announcement here today that I am in the works of creating my very first Mixed Understood Kids coloring book. And I'm so excited about it, and it will be coming to you all very soon. I will make sure that I let you know when that project is done. It's something that I'm underway with right now. But that's one of the things that I did. I made sure to include images that the girls would see when they're coloring. I made sure through television and movies that they're seeing themselves represented in their braids or their puffs or their fuller lips and different things like that. So it's important to be intentional to make sure that your children are seeing themselves represented. And then it's also important to make sure your children are seeing other cultures as well. If they are just surrounded by people who just look like them and they don't see others who are different, then they're going to think that that's just how it is, when actually our world is so diverse. And God loves diversity. He created us all to be unique. And if He didn't want color, He wouldn't have created us to all be different colors and have different eye colors and hair colors and things like that. So this was by design. It was intentional that we were all created differently and uniquely. So that's one of the other challenges that I just have to make sure that I am intentionally showing them images, that I am showing them ways through media, through friends, through family. And it's important that we recognize both sides, both their dual ancestry, that I make sure that, you know, we're also learning about the Hispanic side. And, you know, when I was a child, my mom, she's fluent. My mom is from Barranquilla, Colombia, but she never taught us Spanish. And it was because when she came over here as a 10 and 12-year-old, she was made fun of in school, and people picked on her Spanish accent. And teachers told her that she was stupid. And so she never wanted for her children to have that shared experience. So she decided, I'm just not going to teach my kids how to speak Spanish, and they won't have an accent like that, like I did, and they won't be picked on the way that I was. Of course, now she regrets that she didn't teach us, and, we wish that we would have learned as well. But I've taken on the initiative, and now we have a Spanish tutor that comes to our house. She comes over every Saturday, and she works with the kids in teaching them how to learn Spanish. And it's another way to expose them to another culture. Our Spanish teacher actually comes from Argentina, and I love that she does have an accent. I think it's great to share with the girls and with the kids that, there are different accents, and that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. And to not be afraid of learning different languages. For some reason here in America, learning another language or knowing multiple languages is somehow not looked highly upon, whereas if you're from Europe or in other countries, it's common to know 3, 4, even 5 languages is very common outside of the US. So for some reason, we in the US here, it's just a completely different atmosphere than outside of the US and the global community, and how they look at different languages and interacting with other races and other cultures. It's just so expected to do because they're so close together, and there's not as much space as we have here in the United States.